right. Everybody see me? Everybody hear me? All right, no spoilers in the chat. I want to make sure everything is all set for us. Yo, yo. All right. Looks like everything's good in the chat. I'll try and be a little better about taking a look at it for this stream. Okay, so let's keep the spoilers out of the chat. You know, I'll try and check periodically here. A lot of people are saying this is a good one. You know, it's very, very tempting to not wait, but you know, it's like a held strong. So let's see what we got here, guys. All right. All right, I'm pulling up OnePieceChapters.com right now. You know, that's where we go. Okay, we're going to be looking at 1003. Okay, I'm going to plug in the OST into my ear. And I'm excited for this one, guys, because I'm really expecting some changes. You know, we've had a lot of fun. You know, the past 2, 3 chapters. Now, hoping for some information. Hoping to go somewhere else. I'm hoping to see something different. Let's see if I get what I want. All right. As always, I'm not going to, read the chapter out loud, but I am going to, keep you guys informed on what page I'm on, and you can follow along with me that way. All right, chapter 1003, 1003. The night reflected on a go board. Okay. We got Reiju here, drinking the One Piece equivalent of a Starbucks. We've got a scorpion there, along with the poison theme. Yeah, that's cool. He's confessing his love to Reiju. How cute. Yeah. Good for you, buddy. Alright, so as expected, we are continuing the Kong Gatling from last week. Oda would not necessarily leave that because it's a continuation thing. It was kind of a weird way to end the chapter anyway. Okay, we're getting some hits in. Will this be any different than their first fight? Look who's up from being zapped. And by the way, I put this shirt on in honor of all the guys that got zapped last chapter. Certified drip. Alright. I'm not seeing Killer, though. Not seeing Killer. Is Killer out? Is he down for the count? Alright, so we got Kid, Law, Zoro, and Luffy. And they are watching him pummel Kaido. Big Mom is shook. Big Mom's surprised. Look at this. Alright. I'm on the next page now. Luffy's like, and this. He's hitting what he thinks is a finisher. That I like the panel here of Onigashima from far away so that you can actually feel the impact of Luffy's hit. That's a good touch from Oda. I like that. And then look at Kid. Now, Kid's shook because he's like, damn, this guy really is better than me. Yeah, he is. You know who's also better than you? Killer. You should step down. There was a good comment in the last video because I just put the video up for 1002 and someone commented, Eustace Vice Captain Kid. I like that comment. Savage. Okay. Oda, like, grayed out Kaido's eyes here. Is he trying to imply that Luffy's really doing some damage? Whew. Oh, no. Luffy, come on. Is this all of the air going out of him? He can't. He exhausted himself from Gear 4th already? Come on, bro. And here we thought, the community thought that he had bypassed this. All right. I like this development, though. I like this because now it gives the other guys a shot. Gives them 10 minutes to prove themselves. All right, here comes Big Mom's on the attack. Zoro again with that Foxfire style. Oh no, he grabbed Luffy out of the way. Okay, I thought for a second there I thought that Oda was like hammering it home that he can cut fire. Now I see him in the corner there. He's saving Luffy. Okay, all right. Okay. Killer. He's back up. You know, once again proving that lightning does not mean anything in One Piece. You can get L-Thored by Enel and it's okay. You can get hit with Big Mom's lightning and it is okay. A shock to your system, but you know what? You're going to be fine. All right, I'm looking at the chat real quick. People are talking about we still good? All right. Looks like everything's good. All right, back to the action here. Oh, wow. Okay. Law went for the counter shock on Big Mom. All right, this is fun. Yeah. Kids over here looking like that Capcom character, I think T-Boone or something. I can't remember their name. Okay. I'm on the next page here with the Dragon Twister. Kaido's spinning around in a circle, proving that he has full control over all elements. Zoro, you gotta be kidding me. Luffy's going flying. Is someone going to end up falling off of Onigashima? Let's see. All right. I'm on to the next thing. Oh, hold on. You know, because Zoro does have, the Tatsumaki attack. Is that what he's getting ready to do here? He's gonna like counter. Oh god, he is. He's countering the Twister with his own Twister. I like this line. Hey, what do you think you're doing to my captain? I love the Zoro bro moments. I love those. I love them. I'm here for it. Kaido's catching on. The sword is the source of the hockey. Yeah. This is an excellent attack from Zoro. So it's Odin's sword. Yes. Yeah, it is. Alright, what's he about to do now? Gale of Destruction. Now this panel right here is scary. This is Oda's going to town with this chapter right now. I'm starting to see how menacing Kaido can be. This is fun. All these guys can do is run. This is great. Looks like Law is like teleporting across the battlefield. Zoro's running, trying to, keep Luffy out of the fight. And Killer is looking like a champion once again, just knocking those things off. Alright, let's see here. Alright, I'm at Orochi's head. This is fun. Our supplier went and got himself killed. Did he, though? And the feast they invited us to is devolving into a full-blown battlefield. Now, with this glove and everything, I mean, before I go into anything, I mean, I have to speculate, right? So, we know Orochi's got ties to CP0. So, is this CP0 getting involved in the Battle of Onigashima? Because, I mean, if he's saying our supplier went and got himself killed, that only leads me to believe that it's got to be CP0, or that's what I'm going with. Seems this skirmish is the result of a grudge that has festered within one. Okay. Yep, CP0. Shout out to my guy right here. Let's see the mask come off. I want to know who you are. Okay, this is I'm on the page where now we're seeing 3 different CP0 agents, so we know that they are likely on Onigashima. Got another girl with the eye paper on her face. 400 of our side have fallen. Ah, look at that, Beppo. Beppo finally doing something. Shachi and Penguin finally doing something. Yep. I mean, that's what I've been saying. He's like, if they do nothing to counter the might of Kaido's executives, they stand to lose hundreds of troops at a time. Yep. We gotta whittle the forces down like we do in every arc before we can continue. All right. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Frankie and Sasuke, great. Yo, who is this guy? Alright, we went back up top. Oh, hybrid form. Hey. 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 Ooh. Ooh-wee. Let's see. Ah. Oda, you tease. You tease. Man. Of course. You gotta hook us in. You gotta make sure we come back next week, right? Okay. Alright. Wow. Alright, so I'm coming over. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I definitely did see that TTK panel. Hybrid drip incoming for sure. Yes. Oh yeah. So I think that this chapter is great, and because we left the main action, it's my favorite of the year because there's things to speculate on, there's things to talk about. Like, who is this guy? I want to know what everybody thinks. I want to know like what the running theories are. Like, is this a new character? I mean, that would be fun too. I don't expect it to be someone like Lucci or anything like that because, they're still over at the Reverie. And from my perspective, the conversation that happened in Orochi's introduction chapter happened while the Reverie was going on. In my headcanon, I might be wrong. But, whew. Look at this. I love this Tama panel also just because it looks like she's a boss and she's like telling them what to do. Like, hey, this is what we need to do. Like, she is in control of this situation. This is hilarious. The small mask guy being Jabra, I'd be okay with that. Jabra ended up probably becoming my favorite CP9 member. It's Duval. Yeah, it's Duval. It's Duval, guys. It's Gin? It's Gin? Okay. That's what I'm wondering too. Was that Bao Long? Nah, I don't think that was Bao Long. Wow, man. You know, leave it to Oda to take this guy that's like been in the background for over 400 chapters. I mean, like when we were introduced to these guys, it was right at the beginning of Dressrosa, and then here, you know, he just comes in and he starts looking like the actual antagonist of the arc, right? You know, he's sitting here. You know, I'm getting like Meruem vibes while he's playing, you know, Go over here. When in doubt, it's probably Gin. This is true facts. Panda Man, yeah, oh yeah, Panda Man finally makes his canon debut, guys. So it's definitely definitely important to note that, you know, they have the eye paper on them in the room, right? And we've seen this associated with Who's Who. So meanwhile, Who's Who wears a mask. His whole team wears a mask. CP9 wears a mask. So Who's Who could very well be a CP9 plant, and it's not you know, a Third Eye Tribe thing or anything like that. But this could very well tie into Who's Who, and I'd be okay with that. I would definitely be okay with that. And I would say that would have even more credence to it if Jinbei was the last person we saw before the final word from this guy. You know, I'll just call him Monocle for now. But we see Yamato before that, so I don't know. But there, you know, there's definitely a lot of room for speculation in this chapter. I mean, and this other woman that's not wearing a mask, I know I've seen her before, and I'm trying to remember where. You know, but this one with the shamisen is definitely, it's got to be tied to Who's Who. We don't see Orochi's body, which still makes my theory still look good, that his body is elsewhere and that the other 7 heads of his will still be alive, and that he won't have his human head anymore, but that he will have one of his dragon heads as his actual head now, and he'll be as ugly on the outside as he is on the inside. Oh, Who's Who is Spandam. Ah, great. Yeah, let's bring him back. Looking at the chat. Oh, man. Let's see. So, a question in the chat: after coming this far in the Kaido versus Worst Gen, how do I see Oda making Zoro fight King so that it doesn't feel forced? Same for Sanji versus Queen. I don't necessarily believe that needs to happen. You know, we have Marco holding King off, and there is a world where all of this fails, and I feel like, you know, like a lot of the dialogue in this is is setting up that failure. And it's, there's key ways that things are phrased that can make you feel like Oda's trying to prepare us for that. None of this looks good. Zoro, had that great, Tatsumaki feat, but other than that, everybody's running away, everybody's, hitting and then running out. I think everybody, I want to see a situation where they have to leave Onigashima, they have to go somewhere else, they have to train and then come back, and then they can have proper 1v1s. Although in a situation like this, I feel like Zoro may never fight a commander and that he will continue to fight Kaido, because he's already established this sort of thing where he's in this battle now. Would Zoro fighting King be cool? Yes. But I don't necessarily think that it needs to happen. It's very possible that Sanji could continue that fight. They already had a... they already had a skirmish, so... Jack was asking me who the MVP of the chapter is. This guy. He's the MVP. But Zoro had the best feat. Turning that twister around on him was incredible, and it was from a writing standpoint, it was a perfect use of something that's already been established. We know that Zoro has that technique, right? We've known since Arlong Park that Zoro has had that technique. So to see someone else do a twister attack and then to have Zoro reverse it you set this up without even intentionally thinking about it years ago. That's having a perfect arsenal and being able to pull from it when you can. My guy Ryo. Hey, buddy.
Savage.
This hybrid form, I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for it, guys. Yeah. If you haven't yet liked the stream, hit subscribe. We're close to 10K. We're close to it. 100 hundo. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. I agree. Luffy's cooldown should have shortened. This 10-minute thing is ridiculous. This is, and like I said last week, the 1002 was showing us everybody's weakness. Now we've continued that trend with 1003, reaffirming Luffy's weakness. These guys are too weak to stand on this platform. It's like Aokiji said to Luffy at Marineford. Right after he showed up with the log. You're too early for this platform. I'm running back the chat. Let's see. Now that Luffy's finally out of action, we can see Killer's henchmen do something. I love it. Let's just keep the kid shade going.
Savage.
Man. Yeah, that chick does look like Robin. Someone was saying Mass Deuce for the, everybody wants to bring up Mass Deuce. Mass Deuce, I don't know if we'll ever see him in the canon. He's supposed to be Ace's right hand, but he's never shown up in the canon. Doesn't matter that he was in the Boichi novelization and all of that. Let's see here. No, it's not Robin with CP0, but it looks like her, and we've seen this girl before, and I'm going to have to really scour the pages and remember where. I know that I've seen it, because I remember, this girl looks like Robin. What is she doing here? Julius Ellis. Julius Ellis, thank you.
Savage.
He said, congrats on being a dad and road to 10K. Always a fan. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Savage. Kid does need to do something, Ryo. He really does. He did literally nothing this chapter but react and just sort of let it settle in that Luffy is better than him in every single way. I think a supernova should die. And I think it should be Kid. The obvious choice is Killer. He's the weakest one there. He's the one with the lowest bounty, right? What has the higher stakes? Kid. Get rid of him. He hasn't done anything. Oda, you said you were going to hype him up. You never did anything with him. Then we can actually have Killer take his rightful place as the captain. We'd have this parallel with the Straw Hat Pirates where, it's sort of a, darkest timeline situation where, if Kid dies, and if Kid's the Luffy and Killer's the Zoro, it's like this darkest timeline where, what if Luffy died and then Zoro had to take over the crew? And then we see sort of Killer's rise. I don't know. Yeah, Kid is Luffy without plot armor. So. That's right, Ryo. He's just following this man's lead. But even in Saba Odi, he was doing that. Oh, Straw Hat's gonna take on some Marines? Bet. Let me get over there real quick. All right, I'm gonna fight them with you. So if this ends up in the news, I was here too. John Moore, thank you, my friend.
Savage.
I will keep it up. Thank you. Drake asked, "How's it going?" Things are going well. I other than living in a pandemic, it's as well as it possibly can be. Kid is Bakugo, definitely. Marshall's thoughts on chapter 1003. I'll ask him. I might just get some cooing now. Jeeker, it's not so much that I'm riding the Kid hate train. It's just when you hype someone up, right? You got to follow through. And Oda is a master at following things through for the most part. It may take him, 5, 10, 15 years to do it, but he'll follow through. Kid is just taking a little longer than I'd like. Pirate King Zoro confirmed. Let's see. In my opinion, the go board representing the war symbolizes the enemy team can turn on our side with help of Tama and Chopper. Just like how with the right move, all the black pieces can turn to white. Very true. Very true, you know. And understanding the mechanics of Go to begin with will help anybody that's trying to speculate, what this chapter actually represents. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, we have Tama here, right? And all aboard the Tama Taming Everybody train. She's the very first chapter of Wano introduced us to Tama. It introduced us to her power. Luffy looked at Tama and acknowledged her power. Wow, that's a pretty useful ability. So for it to not get used, for it to not be useful, would be a complete waste. There would be no reason for her to be on Onigashima. So her plan has got to be to tame some strong beast pirates, if not an entire army of them, depending on her stamina. Is there a limit to how many people she can tame? I don't know. But, the thing I want to see is her handing some dangos to Usopp and letting him shoot them out, and then creating an army. I would love Tama taming Kaido, but it's more realistic that she'll create an army to turn the tide. I would love to see it work on actual Zoans, because Ulti versus a tamed page 1 would be hilarious. Kaido is definitely not killing Tama. Galaxy said that Kid might be mad because Shanks chose Luffy over him for the Straw Hat. I mean, Kid wouldn't know that was Shanks' Straw Hat, I think, right? There's never been a scene where Luffy told Kid that he got the hat from Shanks. So, yeah. Let's see. If Killer dying does make Kid awaken, do you think that he could do something like manipulate the iron in someone with blood? It's interesting. It would be broken, for sure. But, that's assuming Killer's the one to die. Which, I would be upset if Killer is the chosen one to die, because it's the obvious one. He's the one with the least amount of plot armor up there. He's been heavily developed in Wano, so he could die. Oda's best bet would be to subvert some expectations here. That would be the fun thing for me. Ryu McKen, that's what I'm talking about. He said, I'm kind of thirsty for the dramatic moment where Kid dies and Killer laughs it off. Yeah. Because that's exactly what it would be. I'd like to see them tame the rest of the numbers. Because Usopp has that lie right at the beginning of Jaya, when they see those huge silhouettes of the Skypians. And Usopp says, oh, I tamed 10 giants once, all by myself. And Chopper's like, what, really? And Usopp's lies always come true. So Well, he doesn't say that he tamed them. He says that he defeated them. But I mean by taming them and turning them to our side. And then Usopp essentially like leading that, or with Tama, because we know that anybody that gets tamed by Tama doesn't listen to anybody but her. What if Zoro dies? Zoro is never going to die. I'm pretty positive that Zoro is like Oda's low-key favorite character to begin with. He's not going to kill Zoro. Loggy doggy. Until Luffy splits the sky in a clash, they are going to lose. Facts. Facts. Like, if Oda, if you want to tell me that Straw Hat Monkey D. Luffy is on the same level as Kaido, Big Mom, Shanks, Whitebeard, then I gotta see the feat happen. I gotta see fist and fist hit and then the sky break apart. And then I'll say, you know what? We underestimated our boy. He's ready. He's not ready. If they killed Ace, it wouldn't surprise me if they kill Law. The Law's got major death flags to begin with, but I think he's safe until the final war. He will die by the end of the series. I can almost guarantee it, but I don't know about here. Dan says, do you think Mother Carmel gave kids away to train to become CP0 agents? So with that line of thinking, are you saying that like this guy could be someone that we saw in Big Mom's flashback, or someone that Mother Carmel recruited for the government? Maybe. I mean, that would be interesting. Were there any other people besides like Hajradin and the girl giant that like got away and weren't eaten by Big Mom? That's a fun thing to look back on. I might have to look back at that chapter to see. Ryo, yeah, the 8,000 subordinates could definitely happen this arc, though. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like we have someone who can, give Usopp this fake 8,000 strong army. So let's do it. Nervous Noah. So how are we sure about the how sure are we about the 5-act structure? What will happen in Act 4? Luffy timed out. Zoro cutting Kaido in a hybrid form. It feels like Act 4 to me. So I've been saying this. If it is a 5-act structure, like the Kabuki plays, then I would like to see things go wrong, whether there's some sort of like ex machina type thing that like gets people away, or whatever, what have you, whatever Oda decides to do. We have some sort of a tragedy, or the tragedy could just be realizing how unprepared they are. Going away into hiding for a couple of months, training. Everybody learns hockey. A couple of people learn Rio. We have some other sort of thing happen. They come back stronger than ever. The Act 4 would be the training portion of all of that. Maybe learn more about what the Reverie has, what happened with the Reverie. Build our forces back up, potentially involve the Grand Fleet, involve the Revolutionary Army, since we know that CP0 is involved with here also. I mean, that's a huge thing. The fact that CP0 is here in the first place brings even more credence to this whole Revolutionary Army playing a role in Wano. The weapons are manufactured in Wano. They want to stop the weapons, right? So, I feel like this doesn't end without the Revolutionary Army. It just doesn't make sense to me. Kaido and Big Mom have said that they want the ancient weapons. So I feel like a part of Act 4 could also be them going off and getting a handle on some of the ancient weapons. There's a lot of ways that this could go. It could also just stay all right here. It could all happen here. But that would almost feel cheap to me and unearned. It's like hockey blooms in the heat of battle, right? But can we expect it to bloom this far? The disparity between the power here is so vast in my mind that I just don't see it happen. I mean, I would love, now that Luffy is exhausted, right? He can't defend himself. This is the perfect opportunity for Big Mom to steal his soul. Sure. You can bypass it and show that you're not afraid and all of that if you're in the right frame of mind. But Luffy's essentially passed out, which is a scenario that I talked about in my theory video about Zoro. Because I want all of this stuff with Luffy's lifespan all across the series, with Gear Second, with the stims from Ivankov, etc. I want that stuff to have weight. These years that were pulled off of Luffy's life, where did they go? How much lifespan does he have? So if Big Mom removes that, puts a clock on Luffy the same way that Roger had a clock to get to the end, because he was dying of a disease, Luffy's clock could be that his soul was taken from him, his life force was taken from him, so he only has a couple of months. He has a year left to become Pirate King, or until he defeats Big Mom. That puts large pressure on him to train, to become better. There's a potential for Luffy to be so defeated from that act of losing that much lifespan that Zoro finally has to take his spot as, pro tempore captain until Luffy is better. Similar to how Sanji did on the way to Zo. If Sanji, and this is a Sanji fan saying this, if Sanji can lead the crew for a little bit, Zoro should too. I feel like it has to happen. We had the curly hat pirates. We need the Haramaki hat pirates. I would love like a little mini arc where Luffy's out of commission, Zoro is leading the crew, maybe even a mini battle, something on the level of Kuma versus Zoro. Really solidify this man's role in the story. Have him turn his sword into a black blade. Have him figure out Rio. How are they ever going to go up against Blackbeard, against Shanks, against Akainu and the rest of them? So I mean, that's kind of the way I see everything sort of breaking down. If I was writing One Piece, that's what I would do, but I'm not, and Oda is the best writer I've ever come across, so I'm excited to see where he goes with it, because even though that's my headcanon and everything and the way that I'd like things to happen, and, you know, the Revolutionary Army to show up and the Grand Fleet to show up and Vivi to show up and rejoin the crew, you know, all the way here for Act 5, Oda could very well surprise us. And those are the best surprises. Ultimate price.
Savage.
If Killer got Kid's Devil Fruit at the end of Wano, Punk's Scythe, that would be cool. But since he ate the smile, he may not be able to eat a real devil fruit. But that would definitely be the way to go. You know, Kid dying, Killer takes the fruit. But that would leave, you know, Chopper would have to figure out some sort of a way to cure the smiles. Oh, my guy GOAW in the chat. We got Kami Anime S in here too. I went on a rant. I was missing who jumped in here. Let's see. Am I a member of SP0? What's the S stand for? They will retreat on Zunisha? Potentially. I mean, Zunisha, I feel like, has to play a role at some point. Zunisha's role in the story is definitely not done. Definitely not done, especially with Momo's power. Just a wacky thought that just came to my head. What if Zunisha pulls up and, like, lets Onigashima fall on their back? Do I think Vegapunk is in Wano? I don't know, but there would be enough foreshadowing and hype for him to be. But I kind of feel like Vegapunk is still off somewhere curing those kids with Smoker. Everybody thinks that Vegapunk's a bad guy. I think he's gonna actually be a good guy. The chapter link, go to onepiecechapters.com and you'll see it there. David Lance says, I think the world government killed Cobra, attempted to kidnap Vivi, and Sabo intervened. The government blamed Sabo for killing Cobra and kidnapping Vivi. What do I think? Well, I think I have an entire video talking about that exact thing and how Vivi will come back to the crew. Be sure to check that out. It's pretty much verbatim, but there's more to it than that. Jeeker, I agree. If they lose, I want to see Big Mom to be the one to decimate them. That would make Luffy's virtue the reason for them failing. He should have left Sanji. That would be a classic tragic ending. Yeah, I've definitely been saying this. I want Big Mom to be the one that, you know, lands the final blow, because then we'll have drama. Because there's repercussions to that. Because the only reason that Big Mom is here is because of Sanji and Luffy in the first place. Luffy initially for challenging her at the end of Fishman Island, and Sanji for being selfish and, you know, doing his whole thing with his family. That's also why I look at Pedro's death as completely on Sanji. Sure, Pedro's his own man, and you know, he chose to blow himself up or whatever, but he would not have been in Whole Cake Island were it not for Sanji's choice to go there. Which makes Carrot's like motivation to fight, kill, get revenge on Perospero. It's the motivation's weak because Perospero, like, I mean, he didn't kill Pedro. Pedro killed himself. So Perospero really didn't do anything wrong in that perspective. He was basically just trying to defend his home. There's a lot of layers to all of that, and the layers are already layered in, but I want to see more of that peppered in with Big Mom doing something devastating. If someone is the one to do anything devastating, it needs to be Big Mom, because that's where the drama will be. Granted, Kaido needs to do something devastating as well, just to solidify himself as a good villain. That's a matter of opinion. Fuegosaur says Sanji was being selfless, not selfish. There's a selflessness to the action, but there is also a selfishness. It's a two-sided sword. It's a very gray area thing. It's not necessarily a black and white situation, because this selfless act that he did caused Luffy to make the selfish act to go and get him back, which then sort of corrupts everything that Sanji was going there for. So free Perospero. Yeah. With CP0 there, the heroes need reinforcements. Grand Fleet or Revolutionaries? I see the Revolutionaries more than the Grand Fleet. So we know that the Grand Fleet was, stated at the end of Dressrosa that they will be part of a, essentially, some sort of catalyst event for a major event, right? And that leads me to believe that, much like the fight on Banaro Island, that fight, whatever happens with the Grand Fleet, will happen without Luffy, without his intervention. And that whatever they do will create some sort of in-world event that Luffy will then have to participate with them. So I think it's something that's going to lead into the final war. I don't see the Grand Fleet coming to Wano unless it's some sort of like Avengers Endgame thing where at the end of the at the end of the arc we've just got, everybody showing up to fight Kaido's forces. Certainly if Luffy gets hurt, and the Viver card starts burning or whatever, they'll show up. But I think that, we have a lot of the members of the Grand Fleet, Sai, Leo, they're at the Reverie. Well, not now. But they've got Viver cards to Luffy. Vivi's in quite a predicament. If she's not with the Revolutionary Army, she's definitely with either Leo or Sai, and will make her way to the crew. Federico said, I started watching One Piece in March 2020 thanks to your One Piece video. He said I had 400 subs then, and now, almost a year later, I have nearly 10K. I appreciate that, man, and I'm glad that video helped you. That's why I made that video, I wanted to spread the good word. One Piece, they do They do great work. Anybody that's doing a rewatch, if you're not using One Piece, you're doing it wrong. Ugh. Loggy Doggy, if Law is in Sword, why would he save Luffy and Marineford? I mean, I think I covered that a little bit in the part 2 video. I mean, you know, you've got... Garp is the leader of Sword in my mind, right? So there needs to be some sort of a communication thing going on. It all ties in. Law, he's a tricky character, but you know, he's got his own motivations, and then his motivations also align with Sword, but then he's also making passionate things, passionate choices and decisions based on his own past. Ultimately, he wants to take out the world government. He wants to take out the Celestial Dragons. And Luffy showed him something interesting at Sabaody, which was when he punched Charlos. So at that moment, at that particular moment, he went onto Law's radar as potentially not only Garp's grandson, but someone that will also take on the world government and someone who will take on the Celestial Dragons the way that he wants to. So, but him conveniently showing up at that particular moment in Marineford, I think that someone had to tip him off. Do I think that Law kept Luffy's heart back at the end of Marineford? That's kind of weird. I don't know. Why do you think that he would? For collateral? Like, he's about to get to Laugh Tale. I don't know about that. Why would he need to have his heart? Ryo, I think that Shanks is John Moore. Yeah. Thanks for being here, man. Oda says things are going to happen every year. And, you know, it never really happens. You know, it's like the year of Sanji ended up, you know, not being the year of Sanji until the following year. So I wouldn't get... If Shanks actually does make his move this year, then, you know, good on you, Oda, but I don't necessarily see that one happening. And someone asked what my favorite volume cover was in the chat, and it is this one. That's my favorite volume cover. It's got two of my favorite characters in the series on it. It's got Mr. 3, it's got Vivi. But it also has this like really cool sort of like 70s movie poster vibe to it. I love it. Number one volume cover right there. Fuegosaurus. Thank you.
Savage.
Love your vids. What do you think about Sanji turning Black Maria and all of her underlings to his side? Similar to how he changed Viola and Pudding. Potentially. What I actually see happening even more is Brooke and Robin showing up and saving him, because it ties into Thriller Bark. They both fought Talaran, and Oda loves his parallels, and he likes to rehash things. But it's possible, especially if and Black Maria's kind of had some like wonky dialogue that makes me believe that she could be some sort of a mole. She could be some sort of a spy. You know, she could turn on Kaido. I mean, realistically, any of the Toby Roppo could turn at any moment, because we know that they were all prior captains that wanted their own goals, that ended up submitting to Kaido after they lost, or at least that's the implication, right? So any of the Toby Roppo could turn. I'm still pushing for the Sasaki is Kokoro's son train. I've been pushing that since the Volume 97 cover came out, and we saw the color of his hair. So, yeah. Vivi is a queen, and she better be in the top 30. She's always been in the top 30 in all of the polls, so I expect her to still be there, but I hope she's a little higher now that she's been back into the story with the Reverie.
Savage.
Ultimate Price. Sanji's past trauma affects his future and Straw Hat Crew. Yeah, basically. You know, that's where I'm coming out with all the Big Mom stuff. Let's see. Where do I see the Straw Hats going from after Wano, story-wise, character-wise? They need to train. We need another like mini time skip. There's no way that these guys can go up against Blackbeard and others, and I'm hoping this arc is the wake-up call for that. Chin said difference between the fight between Katakuri and Luffy and the fight with Kaido. Well, Katakuri wasn't necessarily an antagonist. He was just some guy trying to protect his family. And there was a mutual level of respect between the two fighters. So it became this sort of like anti-fight, where by the end of it, Katakuri knew what Luffy was trying to do and sort of went along with it. Like, he was almost training Luffy, you know, I mean, you could argue it. And here with Kaido, there is no mutual level of respect. Kaido is trash, and Luffy needs to pummel him. But the difference between Kaido and like a crocodile and a Doflamingo is that Kaido is not nearly as nuanced, and he's almost had more screen time than either of them, you know, or at least has been the antagonist for a longer period of time almost. We haven't had a lot of like quiet moments with Kaido, sort of understand what he wants, why he is who he is. And, you know, that was the brilliance of Crocodile. We never got a flashback for him, but we understood exactly who he was. We understood exactly why Luffy wanted to take him out. But Kaido, he just seems kind of there to me. Big Mom is a way better villain. We got a flashback for her. We understand what she wants. We understand who she is. I need that Kaido flashback. Kaido's trash. You heard it first in my stream, yeah. He's just not Oda's best written villain. I'm coming from strictly from a writing standpoint. I'm just saying that characters like characters like Crocodile, characters like Doflamingo, Buggy, the Magellan. Even Magellan was almost, a better written villain. I don't know. I need more. AJ, thanks for coming into the stream. Thanks for the 5-piece. A crocodile flashback will reveal that he's Luffy's mom. I don't know about all that. That's been a going theory ever since that Ivankov moment in Impelled Down, and I was there for that weekly, and I remember where everybody was going with that, where everybody was thinking, like everybody was coming up with all of this stuff. I would love for it to be deeper, but I kind of think that Ivankov was basically just saying, like, hey, if I throw water on you, I can beat you. I don't know if it was really deeper than that, but we'll see. I really want Crocodile to come back. He's probably my favorite villain. So, and a flashback would be awesome. Seeing him go up against Whitebeard, lose his hand, get his face scar. Yeah. Eliav just got here. What do you think about the chapter? Fire. Best chapter of the year so far, because we left the action up top. We got the reveal that CP9 is still in Wano and that they are on Onigashima. Yeah. Things are moving now. Things are getting interesting. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say that Hody Jones was better than Kaido. I don't know about that. How about CP0 saying Orochi's dead? I mean, if you saw his head too, you would think he was dead. But the thing is that they don't have 103 chapters of One Piece to go off of to understand that this man is not dead. What about a flashback between Moria and Kaido? I mean, we got that, and Oda didn't feel it was important enough to spend more than a tiny panel on it during the Oden flashback, so we'll see. We'll see if when we get a Kaido flashback that he thinks taking out Moria was anything important. Kaido probably doesn't even remember who Moria is. Crimson's Flaw, how do I feel about Kid? I probably spent 20 minutes talking about him earlier. I'm not going to do that to everybody else, but he needs to step up. Crystal K, the twist might be later that Oden's father, Sukiyaki's alive. The anime already confirmed the same VA for Tengiyama Tetsu and him. Yeah, I talked about this on Twitter. Anybody who has seen the Tama theory that I put up, I talked about that popular theory that Sukiyaki could be Hitetsu. And then at the end of the arc, he can take over Wano as Shogun, and that allows Momo to ride with the crew, etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, it's shaping up that way, right? And them having the same voice actor is a huge clue. Now, there were a lot of jokes, like, hey, Zoro's voice actor and Pierre's voice actor are the same, too. Yeah, but the difference is that this is within the same arc, and these are two prominent characters. So, yeah, it's not, this isn't the Kazuki Yao is Frankie, Django, and Bon Clay situation. This is either a red herring or, proof. And I think it's proof. Because the thing is that Orochi, we never saw Sukiyaki's body. We never saw we never saw what happened to Sukiyaki, and Orochi is not a reliable source. So my headcanon is that he locked him away because he would hold Sukiyaki responsible for all of the travesties that happened to the Kurozumi clan, right? Because essentially it all happened because Sukiyaki was born. If Sukiyaki wasn't born, then Orochi's grandfather would have come into power because his plan to overthrow everybody would have worked. So if I was going to blame one particular man for, the downfall of my entire family, and I was Orochi, probably want to torture the guy. So you put him down in a cell. That's why the Kokeshi dolls were there in the room that Brook eventually found the poneglyph in. It's probably where he locked Sukiyaki up. And eventually he got out and then stole and then kidnapped Orochi's out-of-wedlock daughter and then raised her as a daughter of his own so that she wouldn't follow the through line of nature versus nurture with the Kurozumi clan. Kurozumi Otama. We got some super chats. Daniel Wadecki, thank you.
Savage.
My guy Gio. If you don't follow this man on Twitter, get on it. One thing that was weird to me is how CP0 knows exactly how many forces each side has lost. How is that even possible?
Savage.
That's a true fact, Gio. That's a true fact. Does CP0 have plants on all sides? Does CP0 have some sort of a power or fruit that is like Viola's, where they can sort of see the battlefield? Does that guy have Enel level observation hockey to where he can just see the entire battlefield by itself anyway, and he can hear or feel the losses like Enel and Isa and all of that. Yeah, it is strange because he's literally just sitting in a room playing Go. But then, that's the thing about CP0, right? They're supposed to be the greatest intelligence force in the known planet of One Piece, right? So they have to have some sort. Oh wait, duh. The all-seeing, the eyes on the paper. The thing, the cat, Bao Wang, everything. They have the eyes everywhere. This all ties into the Who's Who stuff. It's got to be that. Just basically using these cats as cameras. So maybe that's actually the CP0 guy's power. That he can put those eyes on the paper and then he can see where he wants to see. And maybe he's just sort of using that to guess everything. It's a good point, Gio, and you really got me thinking about that now. I like that. That's the right question right there. That's definitely the right question. Yeah, Jeeker put it in the chat, being informed by the girl with the paper in her face. Yep. Isa is the CP0 girl, confirmed. That's funny. Is Who's Who working with CP0? Very likely. The chat's great. No. That's a good point. That's a good point, Reese. Maybe that's why he has no eyes. I mean, he does have that monocle. The monocle boy. My man, Monocle Man. Do I think Rob Lucci's there too? No, but I think that there's a possibility for Rob Lucci to show up in a later act if everything comes to a head and like CP0 occupies Wano even further. But we know that Rob Lucci was at the Reverie with Kaku, with Stussy, and this guy, who we still don't know who this is.
Savage.
So there's a lot of questions around, like who these CP0 guys are. I'm excited to find out. It's like, it feels so endgame, right? But meanwhile, we still have all of these characters that were set up, and now, we may actually get a reveal on who these guys are. Because like I said earlier, they were introduced to us at the very beginning of Dressrosa. And who's the person who pointed them out also? Law. And what do I think Sword's main motive is? To stop CP0. So I think that we're gonna need some sort of a Drake interaction with this guy. Or Drake to further acknowledge that they're still there. Yeah. Would CP0 know about Sword or nah? I think that would defeat the purpose of Sword. I'm sure they're going to find out. Great question. Where's Heat and Wire? I don't know. We should have seen them with Beppo, Shachi, and Penguin, who are equally as useless. The whole chat is just saying how everybody is CP0. Do I think that Enma will be destroyed and Zoro will have to learn how to drain his own haki into the Wado without the use of Enma so he can cut Kaido with his own strength? Yeah, I mean, I think that this whole Enma situation is... there's obviously the cool element to it. The sword has this power, it has this history to it. But it's kind of cheap, And they even talk about it in this chapter, that it's not Zoro's own power that he's using. It's basically the sword doing the work. And Zoro's not going to really like that. He's got to figure out how to harness that himself. So if Enma got destroyed, I think that would be great. Because then it would also lead him to want to get Shusui back. There's also the Nitoryu, the Nidai Kitetsu that is still in play here. If the Sandai Kitetsu breaks, anything like that, he can get the upgraded version. There's a lot of swords in play here. But is Enma an endgame sword for Zoro? Maybe and maybe not. Because it depends on what Oda is utilizing Enma for. Did Zoro get Enma so that Oda could give Zoro a taste of the power that he should be attaining? So that if the sword leaves him, he knows what he has to do to get there. He'll remember it so he can channel it into his own thing. I mean, like, the Watto should be the sword that he turns into a black blade. Like, that's the, like, before he makes Enma a black blade,
Savage.
I want to see the Watto go black first. But, yeah. Foreign Guy 8593 says, I only read super chats. Nope. Even the last question I just answered wasn't a super chat. I do read all of the super chats, but I read the whole chat. I mean, definitely Zoro having 3 black blades at the end is a huge possibility. I wouldn't want to see him go up against Mihawk without 3 black blades. See, there's Chin right there. Randy only reads savage chats. That's true. If your comment's not savage enough, it's not getting read.
Savage.
David Lance said, in the most recent SBS, Oda gave us choices for each Straw Hat. If he had to give them a devil fruit, what character and fruit combo would you make if you could? And he says, Jinbei with Jozu's fruit. So Diamond Jinbei. That's cool. That's cool. I liked it. I like that Oda was, giving Nami the respect she deserves by saying that she would have the Goro Goro no Mi Enel's fruit. The Sanji one was a gag, of course, so that he could just be more of a pervert. It was a very strange one, giving him Senor Pink's fruit. Frankie getting the Baby 5 fruit. And then the Zoro hype of him having Kaido's devil fruit and one of the swords. But my favorite one was Usopp. Him having Blamenco's fruit, the pocket fruit, and just sort of having this pocket dimension that he can go into and like pull all of his gadgets out. That's perfect. And very Oda, because it's like after the time skip, everybody thought like, oh, is he gonna like eventually get like a grass fruit, some sort of plant fruit? I mean, it seems like Admiral Green Bull is probably going to have something like that. But that was definitely the most fun question out of the SBS for this volume. And if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check out all this stuff with the SBS. What fruit combo would I do? I still love the idea of Nami having like Big Mom's fruit. I don't think that Frankie needs a fruit, and Frankie even said that he didn't want one in Dressrosa, so I'm not going to put one on my guy. I'd love to see Vivi with a fruit. Yeah. Vivi, everybody wants to say, when is Monet's fruit going to regroup? I mean, that would be something cool for Vivi. Here's Vivi, this girl who grows up in a sand kingdom in all this hot weather, and then watch she eats Monet's fruit. And she's a snow creature in Alabasta. That would be funny. There's also, you know, a lot of people thought, you know, what if Kuma died and she ate Kuma's fruit, which ties into a theory in the community of that everybody with devil fruits on the crew all represent a number between 1 and 10. It's an interesting theory, and that we're missing 2 and 9, and that the Nikyu fruit falls into that. So everybody, you know, thinks that at some point Kuma's fruit is going to get eaten by somebody. I don't know. Let's see. Running back to the chat. Galaxy, how's our mini Blackbeard doing? He's zay ha 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 haing all over. I actually almost included a blooper of him in the last video, because you know, when I shoot the actual videos, I use my real camera, and I had Chrissy and Mars come over to adjust my focus so that I was in focus. And you know, he's starting to develop now, and he's starting to see things. And I think, you know, he's been in this room before, but it was almost as if he was like seeing all these figures for the first time. So his eyes were going wide, and Chrissy was laughing, and he's just like moving around, looking at all this stuff. It was fun. It was fun. Who do I think Sanji will end up fighting, and am I upset that he's not on the roof? Yeah, I am upset that he's not on the roof, but I think that as much as I don't really want him to fight Queen, it seems like that's being set up, you know, that it's almost too obvious. I'd rather him fight King or Jack, or go take out Perospero. Drake Vaughn, I appreciate that, man. It's a nice comment. Thank you. Jeeker, do I think the raid suit is a cheap power-up from a power scaling standpoint? No, I actually love it. I love that Oda went as far as he did to develop Sanji's character, and the raid suit is just awesome. You know, finally got like a raid suit Sanji thing here. Love this. It's like, it's totally within his character too, because, you know, he's a sneaky guy, Mr. Prince, you know. So here now he has another identity that he can go to, and I'm just looking forward to his next bounty saying Stealth Black on it. I'm seeing all this stuff about Mars in the chat now. Yamato or Carrot, we've talked about this. It's Vivi, Tama, Momonosuke, then Yamato,
Savage.
then Fortrix, then let's see. Then speed. And, let's see. Then Batman. Then going back to Thriller Bark for the remains of the tree. Then going all the way back to East Blue to pick up Gaimon. And then recruiting all of the Usopp pirates now that they're a little older. Yeah, that feels about right. And then Carrot. See, I don't think that the poster is going to say Soba Mask, because that's what Sanji would want, right? He wants to formulate his own identity. So, but the thing is that the suit is so recognizable as Stealth Black from, the Sora TV show or comic or whatever it is, that the Marines are just going to call it Stealth Black because that's what, it's going to be some guy from North Blue. He's going to be like, oh, I know what that is. That's Stealth Black. And then, we're just going to get that panel of Sanji like, it's supposed to be a Soba Mask. I'm not going to recognize Carrot as a potential crewmate until we have a moment with her and Zoro. And also a moment where we understand what she wants. What does she want out of life? What does she want if she travels with them? That's why Yamato is a better fit, even though we still don't know much about her, but because we actually know what she wants. What he wants, I'm sorry. So, we know what Yamato wants. Therefore, he can join the crew. But out of Wano, just Wano, Tama's my top pick. See, that's what I see happening. I see Carrot going off with her own mink crew and sort of living out Pedro's will. Either revamping the Nox pirates or, doing her own play on that with, the Dawn pirates. So Caleb, Yamato is biologically female, but I like to use the he pronouns because that's how they refer to themselves. And until Oda addresses the issue and that it's not necessarily an identity thing or a trans thing, then I'm gonna go with that, because I'd rather be on the the wrong side of it than the wrong side, Even Luffy refers to Yamato as Yamagai, because that's how Yamato introduced themselves to Luffy. So. I'd like to see Yamato get a 1v1. The thing that makes most sense to me is Jack, because here you have, Kaido's son, Yamato. But then you also have Jack, who, based on, I think it was 999 or, whatever. Once we saw Jack got decimated by, no, it wasn't 999. It was way before that. When we saw Jack got decimated by the Sulong Minks, I think it was maybe 993, 994, or whatever. Kaido had some sort of a line that insinuated that he looked at Jack like a son. So I'd rather have the rightful child of Kaido go up against the person that that Kaido actually looks at as a child. See, I don't think that I don't necessarily think that it is a trans thing. With Kiku, that's like definitely that's confirmed, right? But we don't know enough about the Yamato situation, so I don't necessarily want to, make any like hard points about that. We know that they identify as Odin, and that's a male pronoun, so that's just what it is. What I want from Yamato's character is I want them to go on a journey of self-discovery where they understand that they do not need to be Odin, and that they can find something within themselves or who they truly want to be, or that they can be themselves. And if they want to be Odin, that's fine, but that's just weird, saying things like, oh, that's my son, and all this other stuff. Like, that's when it comes sort of like a mental disorder at that point, that you think you're this person that much that you're looking at this boy as if he's actually your kid. No, your fantasy is running a little wild there with being Odin. So having Yamato have a moment where he or she realizes that they can be themselves and that they can go out and really enjoy the world and all of that, that's going to be the powerful journey for Yamato, that journey of self-discovery. Black Star, no. So Yamato's gonna stop wanting to be Odin, but still feel like being a man? No, not necessarily. It could very well be that. So, my thinking is, right, and this is where we really need the Kaido and Yamato flashback, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this whole, what are the pronouns here and all this, because we've talked about it on the channel before, and there's not enough information about it to really go onto it. So I just attack it with caution. But the point is that Kaido refers to Yamato as his son, which leads me to believe that maybe we'll be informed in a flashback that Kaido looks at Yamato as a failure because they are a girl. That he wanted a son, that he wanted someone to take over his empire. He wanted that, but what he was given was a daughter. And instead of acknowledging that Yamato is a daughter, he calls Yamato his son, and then hammered that in. If we go back to the panel of Yamato watching the boiling pot incident, right? They're wearing a mask. Okay? It's the same Hanya mask that Yamato wears in their introduction. Now, Hanya is representative of a jealous female demon And there's a whole bunch of lore behind the Hannya mask to begin with. It was the reason that I was able to look at that chapter and say, Yamato is going to end up being a girl. And then that's when it ended up happening. But because it was like, there's no reason for Oda to put this particular mask on this character if they're actually Kaido's son. So, but if we have a situation where Kaido forced Yamato to put this mask on because he didn't want anyone to know that he had a daughter and not a son. I don't, there's a better way to go about this. It's sort of, weak in my mind right now, but there is a reason why Kaido calls Yamato his son. And that's the thing that we need to understand and figure out. Sky Pia says, when's the next live action discussion? So I've been getting, more comments than anything about this. When am I going to put out another live action video? I get it on Twitter. I get it in the comments. I get bombarded with it. The next one is going to be my casting, the rest of my casting picks for East Blue and some of my casting picks for the Alabasta Saga. That's the next one I want to do because that was a lot of fun. But that video is going to take a lot of time because I know the actors that I want to say, but I have to find the right clips to do it the same way that I did in that video because I don't want to just say who it is. I like having that clip of them there to inform my decision, my choice. Like, this is why I see them and show you, and then maybe you can see why I see them in that role as well. Now, the reason that things like this haven't come out is because that video alone took the most editing out of probably any video on the channel that's One Piece related and not like, some of my short films or anything. It took a lot of time, and time is precious right now because my son is here now. But as things, start to get a little easier and I start to settle into my role as a dad, I'll have a little more time to do it. But, my focus is, it's very easy to do these streams, to put out a quick discussion video and all of that. But these videos that take a lot more time to edit, that's, it's going to take more time. But I'm getting to the point where I'm ready to shoot that. So a few weeks or whatever, I don't want to hold to anything, but that's what's going to come. And it'll be fun, and I'll put it as a premiere, and I'll be there in the chat with everybody when it's released because I want to see everybody's responses. It was a lot of fun when, we had the one with Kang Jung for Buggy. Artur said that Yamato can have the tiger food to combat the dragon. A lot of people have said this. I've said it on the channel. I really like it. I like if Yamato has a white tiger fruit. I would love to see that. I would love to see it. But with the reveal of the saber-toothed tiger, having a saber-toothed tiger and a Byakko or a white tiger in the same arc, I don't know. But there is a precedence for Yamato to have a fruit because it seemed like they were going to transform against Sasuke. So we'll see. Don't know about those horns, and it's very interesting too because if you look at like some of these other characters, it really looks like they have horns also. Like Black Maria's horns look like they're like real horns. Like why? And then it's almost like, are these people self-mutilating themselves? Like, some Some people do. You know, maybe you've seen them. You know, some of these like like juggalo types and people that are really heavy into piercings and heavy metal. Sometimes they'll put gauges in themselves. They'll give themselves horns. Like, people have literally done this. They've given themselves horns. You know, is Kaido forcing his crew to do something like this? We don't know. Josh's Fly. Personally believe Yamato is the yellow dragon fruit because of its meaning. Not familiar with the meaning of the yellow dragon. Do I think we'll see a pterodactyl fruit? I mean, the pterodon is part of the same family. I mean, we do have, the Allosaurus and the Spinosaurus, which is like, pretty close related. And if we ended up seeing a T-Rex, we would just be, might as well just put Jeff Goldblum in there. I don't think we need to see a pterodactyl. Because a pterodon, if I'm not mistaken, is like even, is like a better form of that anyway, a bigger, badder version. We do need some Ennie's Lobby style 1v1s, but I don't know if we're going to get them. I don't know. Next week is going to be an interesting chapter, because now that we've left, we've seen this whole thing with CP0, and we've got teases of everything that's going on, but Oda did not show us Brooke and Robin. So I'm hoping we get that next week. Hoping we get that. I think it would be very interesting if Brooke and Robin made it to the top, made it to the roof, because there are two characters that we would not expect to get up there. What could they do in the fight? Find out. I mean, those, if I was going to name characters that were going to get up to the top, Brooke and Robin would probably have been on the bottom of the list. But Marco told them to start making their way up. I think they're going to save Sanji from Black Maria, but it would be interesting to see them get up top. Yeah. Any word when Arlong Park will be back up, or it'll be another 2-month break? I hope not. This has been an ongoing issue with Arlong Park, and it's sad. It's sad, because I mean, as most of you know, I was one of the original admins for Arlong Park. It was me, a guy named Evil Gamer X, Aftershock. We had Robo Blue, and the dude who was also known as Alex from the One Piece podcast. And I went by Randy 1031 back then, 1031. And we had the forum. It was really great times, and we've been using the same forum, the same V Bulletin forum since 2005. So it's super outdated. It's over 15, 16 years old now, and it keeps crashing now because I just think that it can't handle the growing times, and the one person who is handling the server for us has an extremely busy life, and all of the access to fix everything is on them. And it's we have to get in touch with them to do everything, and then it's when they have the time to do it, but all of their personal information is attached to it, so we haven't been able to do a transfer of power. And we have to update the site because it's getting slow and all this other stuff, and it's it's a great resource too, because like you can look at old posts. You can go back to 2005 and you can see what we were talking about and theorizing during Water 7 and Eddie's Lobby and all this. How people reacted to Marineford. Like those posts are still there when the site is up. So when is it going to come back? When it does. We've also been getting these weird like copyright claims, these DMCA's. I don't understand it. I don't know if it has anything to do with like the same type of stuff that was going on with our tour and on Twitter and everything, where someone was attacking the site and just sending like DMCA's to crash us. I don't know if someone's doing that on purpose or not, but it's all very unfounded. It's like random images that shouldn't even be flagged. So it's very much like the Twitter thing. Predictions on who's behind the CP0 masks. I want to take a look back at Big Mom's flashback, because Dan in the chat, he made a good point of, could they be prior Mother Carmel inductees to the world government? But I gotta look at who wasn't eaten by Big Mom, aside from like Hajradin and Greta or something. I can't remember. But all those kids might have been eaten. Yeah, Daniel, we get, we got the OP podcast guys over there, Greg, all that. They all come and post on Arlong Park. Arlong Park does have its own Discord, by the way, guys. So when Arlong Park goes down, like you can jump in that Discord. And of course, we've got our Discord too for any time people want to continue the conversations. So I'm thinking I'm getting close to... Yellow Dragon is associated with the fifth direction, the direction of the center, or the center of the world. Kaido is moving Onigashima to the center of Wano for Yamato to rule. Maybe. Yeah. Anything is possible and nothing is possible. That's One Piece. So I'm going to start wrapping the stream down, because I got to make sure that Chrissy gets a break, and I gotta go spend some time with my boy. But we'll do. I'll try to get a video out for 1003. Sometime during the week or whatever. And I want to reread it. I want to see if there's anything that I missed. And we'll do another stream next week for 1004. Very excited, very excited. I might do might try to do a late night stream at some point this week. I got a set of Sete Prey, the cells from the anime. And I might do like a little opening and like show what's inside of it. I haven't opened it yet. It's got a bunch of stuff from the Alabasta saga, like the prints of what the anime used as guidelines. So I want to see what it was, what's in that set. So it might be a fun little time to talk to some people. I'll put it at like a different time, so maybe other people that don't get a chance to watch streams can jump onto that one. 1:15 works well, EST time for these chapter ones, but I'll keep people posted on, especially in the Discord, on when I might do that. I'm still planning on a giveaway, guys, but I want to get to 10K first. So if you haven't hit subscribe, hit that subscribe. And I gotta figure out some way to do it, because I remember couple of years ago. I think Rogers Base did something like it, where he found some way to like get subs into some sort of a giveaway. But I want to give back to the community, you know, because everybody's been supporting me so nicely and everything like that. So, yeah, Chin. I know it's late for you. I gotta keep the chapter ones at this time, but I'll do a late night stream sometime, so it's actually like early morning for you and some other people or something. Let me see what's everybody saying before I pop out here. You think that Kaku was one of the CP9 guys in the arc? I don't think so, because we saw him at the Reverie, and these are the same guys that were with Orochi earlier, and at the beginning of Act 2, or at the end of Act 1. Can't remember. Let's see. Thanks, Kagemusha. Reese, thanks for being here. Do I think Wano, with it needing to change and open up to the world and be less minded, as a meta commentary with Oda, by Oda, with real life Japan and what it can do, needs to do today? Oda will tell you that he doesn't make his story political, but that's a lie. You can look at any of the stories, anything that he's doing, and there's politics and references to things that are going on in the world and things that went on in the world. Everything is informed by prior events, prior fables, prior folklore, especially in Wano. So much folklore. When I would love to have more free time, because I really want to do a video on all of the folklore that is in Wano. It'd probably be an hour-long video. Oh, man. The Renowned and Fable, thanks for the good times. Thank you.
Savage.
Ponobi, thanks for stopping by. That would be crazy, Act 3 ending. You be easy too, Gio. Appreciate you dropping by, man. Just here to say Randy is a savage. Alright. Alright, guys. That's gonna do it for me. But I will be in touch, and I'll see you guys next week, probably sooner. Looking forward to it.